Hello, welcome to the session of executing the change. I am going to talk about what steps needed for change execution. First of all, the object to work with is public service. Public service, we can analyze it and define what changes are needed, and at the end we can execute concrete projects in order to make those changes happen. First of all, we need to understand the current situation we start to change. It means that the first step is to draw as-is picture of the current situation of public services. We need to make a list of public services we provide and create a portfolio of it. This portfolio can be built on the authority level or ministry level or even on state level. So we can work with public service portfolios in any level and execute those changes also on any level. And those principles that I'm talking are relevant for both authorities and ministries and also state level. So when we have understanding what public services we provide, then we can start analyzing the processes that are needed for those public services. There are specific techniques and tools for that, and those will be explained in different sessions. However, in terms of e-governance, we need to analyze the processes in the context of information systems that are supporting those processes. And also we need to pay attention to the information flow within those processes. Because one principle that is relevant today for e-governance is once only principle. It means that information that is asked from either citizen or business is asked only once and used forever. Meaning that we need to understand where the information is located, in which information systems that is needed for our public service provision. Therefore, we need to also build those information flows. When we have drawn the information and processes down, then we can get understanding what are the activities that are not needed, where we can automate some activities, where we can automate some controls. Basically, we can understand what can be the quick wins if we initiate some change. So the step 2 is to find those places within those processes where we can make some improvements, and we can already draw a vision of TOBE situation. This is what we would like to see in the future. When we have got understanding and transparency of what is happening today, then we need to reorganize also the organization that will be work on the changes and will be work on the public services. Meaning that we need to appoint owners for every single public service. It's crucial that the ownership is personal. It cannot be collective, meaning that one person with one position will be responsible for every particular public service. It cannot be department, which is a collective responsibility. If the collective responsibility is given, it means that there is no actually any responsibility. Step 3 is to give authorization to those owners to initiate, analyze those processes and initiate the changes. And also resources must be allocated for that work. Every corrective work, every change initiation, it doesn't happen by itself. It needs resources, it needs working time, it needs authorization, and it cannot be done as a side obligation by some civil servant. So the organization around public services must be set up. Step 4 is to analyze changes in terms of information systems development. If we are talking about e-governance, we are basically talking about how to make better information systems that support our service provision. Therefore, we need to identify all those improvements and changes that we can support by changes in information systems. Those can be, for example, we can change manual controls to automated controls. We can change manual efforts to automated efforts. And we can also see what kind of information flow we can move from paper flow to electronic flow. When we are talking about changes in information systems, it's important to highlight that the change is about process change. Change in information system only doesn't give any value. We need to change the way how we work, how we change the processes within those public service provisions. And only changing the processes we can achieve some values. And information systems must support those changes. It is crucial to understand that dealing only with information systems doesn't give as much value as we would like to see. And last but not least step is to execute those projects that are defined by during the previous steps. We need to provide process changes, agree on those process changes, and we have to agree them with top management, give authorization, find the budgets, and execute those. Depending on the maturity of organization, this work might require external help. Again, we cannot deal with this situation without talking about maturity. Usually, external help is needed until the maturity level 3. On the third level of maturity, organization gets enough knowledge to deal with changes by themselves and using internal knowledge and experience. Until this maturity, external consultants and help is needed. Thank you for listening and goodbye.